Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and we're going to take a closer look at this Fluke lineman plier. This is the INCP8. It's an 8-inch insulated lineman plier that's 8 1/4 inches long. Has the 1000-volt rated insulated grips. A narrower profile compared to many other linemans. This is compared to the Klein here. It's also shorter, or less in stature. It fits right in between these two snap-ons, and it occupies a lineman length that I think is actually one of the most handy sizes. This sometimes feels way too big. This obviously is handy but can feel small. This might be the Goldilocks plier, but I'm wondering if it's got a bug or a feature in the design of it. First of all, it's German quality. Somebody out there probably knows exactly what German factory this was made in. It has a tremendously comfortable grip. This is a soft material here. I can stick my fingernail into it. And this is a softer material as well. It's not near as hard as some of the others. Now, these are essentially dipped handles. You can tell by the drip at the end. But these are pretty spongy. This is a kind of a combination. It's got the firmer aspect up here, which you couldn't do with a dip. And then it's got a nice, kind of slightly tacky, slightly spongy kind of main grip where your palm grabs it. And silky smooth right out of the box. They even advertise that no break-in period. And to me, the break-in period, well, I need to, get to work, not break in my pliers. Klein, this one's ideal. Not all of them are. Snap-on's close. It takes just a little tiny bit of effort to open and close these. Same here. Now, I thoroughly respect needle nose pliers. They have a special place in my heart. They're wonderful pliers. But to me, the lineman plier, it's like the muscle car of pliers. There's just something attractive about it. Even a rough finished product like this one here, it's a well-designed, kind of beast of a plier in that size. However, now it's got the grabbing tips up front, and you'll notice they close incredibly well for a pair of pliers. It is a little offset. I might be picking a little bit on that. But notice that's squeezing hard. Those do not close. Snap-ons do not close. There's another, do not close. And I'm going to throw the Gadors in here. I love these things. Great pliers. If you look at that, I can close them. You can't even tell where the seam is. So, something's going on. Again, these are made in Austria. It's close to Germany. But let's take a look at what these are doing that makes me wonder, is it a bug or a feature? So I've got some wire here. This particular wire, you can see, is a stranded wire. I think this is 14 gauge, but I'm going to look at it through the eyes of these pinch cutters. Now, if you want really good solid cutting, you're probably going to need to go to a crosscut plier cutter like this. That's going to cut the material all the time. Here's the Kleins, unless it's too big and it causes some folding or something else. Two great cross cutters right here. The blades overlap, okay, versus the pinching mechanism found on most pliers, which is just another option, another way to cut. However, when I cut with these, watch this. Look at that. Now, I can break that off, but it's incomplete. Every one of these I can snap off. It's almost there. Takes a little bit of effort. You can see that. It'll break free. It's like it's not quite cutting it. Now, when I compare that to the Klein, watch this. Snip, 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 it just pops it right off. The snap-ons here, snip, those actually fired across the room if you're not careful. What about the smaller ones? Snip, snip, snip. Go back to the Flukes, snip, snip. In fact, look at that. You can see that there's a little bit of restraint. What if I squeeze really hard? Okay, then I got it. However, what if I squeeze really hard down here? Finally got it. Top. Okay, that'll work if I squeeze hard. Now, let's take a look at something. Actually, let me run this test first. Here's some stranded wire. Didn't quite cut it. That one did, so there's a little bit of difference there. What if I go down near the bottom? Not quite, almost. Top. You can see right up there. Good. Middle. Not quite. Okay, go to the top just to clear that. Okay, so where am I going with this? Well, what I've got is my Lume Cube here, and I'm going to turn this thing on. It's kind of a bright, flat light, and I'm going to throw these pliers over the top of it, and you can see there is a gap there. Now, if I could squeeze this really hard, does that gap change? No, because it's closed at the top. I'm not getting any change right here, and there's considerable light. What about the Kleins? Throw those on there. Okay, you can see they seat at the bottom first, but I can close them up pretty close to all the way to the top. Right there, snap-ons. Those start right at the top and work their way down. Close, there's no light getting through there. There is that spot at the bottom that I don't like. These, again at the top. I can't quite close these all the way at the bottom, however, they seem to close enough to easily pop something off there. So what about the Gadors? Line those up. Look at that. Beautiful. And you see the very tip? I can close that if I need to. So these are what I would think was perfection, the Gadors. Now, I'm going to compare it to a couple others just to see, maybe it's a feature, not a bug. These are the snap-on zip tie cutters, the 786 CFs. So I close those in here. Okay, they're just resting. As soon as I close them, instant darkness, 100%, except for that thing at the bottom I don't like. What about some snap-on kind of cutting dikes here, side cutters? These are the 87 ACFs, a classic. This is the newer model with the vector cutting edges. So as I put that on here and close it slowly so you can see how they come together, hits at the bottom up to the top. Instant darkness all the way. Let's take a look at the Kleins. These are the big Klein cutters. What are these guys? The J2059s, just a beast of a side cutter. Love these things. I think they make a great example of what we should expect. So as I close this, beautiful lineup. Now is that an instant darkness? Yes. Getting a little reflection. Maybe right there in the center. I can close that off. So there it is, close. So that's what I'm guessing is supposed to happen. Turn that thing off here. And so what are these doing? Well, they're not closing completely. Now I guess I could buy more pairs of them and see if that's how they're designed, but they sure look like they've been finished how they were engineered. Great in the hand, a little lower profile, you know, maybe a newer muscle car, not one of the older giant muscle cars. And then, you know, it does cut this. I can snap it off. You know, if I pull a little bit, you know, yank it, I can get these to cut just fine. So is that designed? Maybe there's a reason. If I just cut and back off, you can see it leaves that score, but in general, I can just break it versus shooting it across the room. You know, or the snap-on here. You know, so I like the fit, the feel, I like the size. Interesting how kind of rough that is. Reminds me of a Swedish axe. You know, it's the working surfaces are immaculate. The rest of it was kind of ignored. I love the handles. I love how smooth these came just straight out of the box. Fluke makes some outstanding tools. They're mostly known in the kind of the electronics testing area. They are an American company out of Everett, Washington, but I think they've kind of been bought and sold. And anyway, they've got a line of hand tools, and I'm going to explore those a little bit more. But I love lineman pliers, really like these. However, is that a bug or is that a feature? And with that, dock out.